August 4th, 2006, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby opens in theaters at number 1.
But that couldn't stop a cultural icon from debuting number 2 that day at the box office.
Otis the Cow enters the public eye like a shining star, here to burn bright in the hearts and minds of people everywhere forever.
With a rock-solid 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie was led by its captain, Kevin James, the King of Queens.
Featuring culturally beloved characters like Dag the Coyote or Pig the Pig, who are still constantly talked about to this day. Nominee of the 2006 Stinker's Bad Movie Award, Barnyard. As kids, we watched the Barnyard movie when it came out, and we remember liking it.
I remember thinking it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember the movie being pretty decent. It's the story of a young, irresponsible cow named Otis who loses his father. He learns to become more responsible and care for those around him, while also being a party animal in the barn, which is fun for kids.
They also made a TV show about it after, so I think some of those memories mixed for us, because the movie was not as good as we remembered.
No, not at all.
The writing is really messy. There's a good story in there, but I'm sorry to disappoint. Barnyard might have deserved that 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's less that there's a good story in there, and more that there's an idea of a story that has really bad execution.
Yeah. There's also this element thrown in of the animals avoiding humans figuring out that they can walk on 2 legs, talk, and also party.
It's just shitty Toy Story with animals instead of toys. Moo?
So the movie doesn't hold up as well as we remembered, but the main reason we loved Barnyard was due to seeing the TV show all the time and playing the video game, but mostly the video game. Barnyard the video game is described as a party-oriented adventure game developed by Blue Tongue Entertainment and published by THQ.
It was released 3 days before the movie and loosely follows the story of the Stinker award-winning film.
That means that all the Barnyard heads out there could speedrun the game and learn the story early before seeing it in theaters.
2006 saw the launch of Bully, Dead Rising, Gears of War, Twilight Princess, Guitar Hero 2, and Oblivion.
But we checked, and none of these games feature squirting, milking, creaming, or animals partying.
Not a single one.
So they are worse games, and we will not be discussing that.
The game starts with you arriving at the barnyard as a new customizable cow.
And this is actually a better narrative Listen, don't laugh for what I'm about to say. There's the one thing I ask is don't laugh.
Don't laugh at him.
This is actually a better narrative structure than the movie.
The introduction of a new character being welcomed into this party atmosphere allows things to feel less random than a lot of the story structure in the actual movie. And speaking of being welcomed into the barnyard,
every time, without fail, I got attacked. Every animal in this game wants to hook up with you. You have a flip phone in the game to manage the amount of animals that are trying to hit you up each day.
Every text you receive is either sexual, threatening, or somehow both. The game is not just about partying, it has this weird theme of raw sexual energy that never goes away. And that's not us saying that the game is bad.
For a kids movie video game adaptation, this game is shockingly well made. The game takes the concept of the movie, avoiding humans during the day and partying at night, and then turns them into game mechanics.
That's not really a lot to work with, and most adaptations from this era would make a shitty platformer with the characters from the movie. Honestly, as far as video game adaptations go, this might have nailed the heart of the story in the game more than the actual film.
And we're calling Barnyard a film here. Barnyard is cinema, it's not a movie. Barnyard's world works off of a day-night system. There's a real clock running as you play the game, and missions and activities are divided into day and night, which activate with sunrise and sunset, much like the real world. Each animal eats and shits, much like a real animal in the real world. It really just activates a cutscene. When the sun rises, the farmer from the movie gets in his car and drives out of the barn, freeing you to walk around and play, and when it sets, the animals hide for a moment in a cutscene as he comes back, goes to sleep, and then the party starts.
And that's when the party starts.
That's when the party starts, actually. When the sun goes down, the party animals, and I mean animals literally, come out.
I think the party's starting, you know?
I think the party animals have come out to play.
So over the top. Like, we get it. So what can you do during the day?
Well, most of the game's main missions take place when the sun is out. What we loved about it as kids and what still holds up now is that pretty much every mission is a mini game with high scores and a high score leaderboard full of other animals in the barnyard.
Each minigame has a grading system, the best being a star. As you collect stars, you rise the ranks of the overall Barnyard Championship.
And this is cool because it incentivizes you to return to minigames and get good at them so you can become the champion, which you can use at night, but we're not talking about night yet.
Be patient.
Stop trying to skip ahead when we're going to tell you. All over the map there are ingredients for cooking items and making drinks like fruit, vegetables, and dairy products that you make yourself and serve to the other animals.
What? That's not right.
Yeah, something about that's not right. And after gathering ingredients, you can make food at Pig's kitchen during the day or drinks at his bar at night. And Pig is absolutely busting out of that apron. Holy shit. This is the exact sexual energy that Tony and I were talking about earlier.
No, I think that's just you. That's not what we were referring to.
Pig, if I didn't have a girlfriend. No, who am I kidding? It would never work.
You can't consume or use food or drinks you make with Pig, but you are awarded with money.
Most of the missions, challenges, and activities reward you with a currency called gopher tokens. But what are gopher tokens and how can you use them? Ask yourself, what if instead of the US dollar, our currency was handed out by two gopher brothers, one named Joey and one named Frankie?
And what if we told you that these gophers, who are brothers, ran a criminal underground to sell talking animals human items?
Well, look no further than Barnyard the video game.
So everything in the game ties around the barn at night. You spend the days earning cash to build the barn up as a better place to party. This is the payoff for the gameplay you do during the day.
And the barn starts off as pretty much an empty room with not a lot to do. As you earn more money though, you can purchase more from the gophers like a stage, lights, tables, and games for the animals to play. It works super well as a payoff for the day because the barn slowly comes more and more to life as you improve it.
You'll see more animals show up as you add more furniture, the music will improve once you put a jukebox in, and the atmosphere becomes much more lively as you upgrade the room. Even small decorations like paintings or a ceiling fan add so much to the environment. When you unlock the barn, the first thing you buy is a pool table for it. The cool thing about this is that it unlocks a new mini game at the pool table.
It's a really fun game of pool where you play against Duke, my arch nemesis. Let me just tell you, I hate this dog. I hate this dumb digital dog so much it makes me want to get violent. He's stupid, he's full of himself, and I had to humble him by beating him 5 times in a row after he beat me with this shot. Move a little forward. If I don't hit the yellow ball, then that's a scratch. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? What the fuck was that? I'm truly, for the first time in my life, I am flabbergasted. If Duke has 1 million haters, I am one of them. If Duke has 1 hater, I am that one. If Duke has no haters, that means I'm dead.
To us, the barn at night was the coolest part of the game. Some of the games you buy for the bar, like pool, are mini games that you can then play with characters from the movie, and others like darts and whack-a-mole.
There's even a serving drinks mini game based off the old arcade game Tapper, where you serve cows, horses, and goats drinks at the bar, which is crazy hard for some reason. Tony, do you ever think about how our job right now is talking about serving cows and goats milk at a barn in a 2006 video game?
And there's always something so rewarding about watching an environment in a game improve directly from your actions, especially in an open world game where you wouldn't expect it to be part of the core gameplay.
It's obvious when you play The Sims that you're building and decking out your house, but when it happens in Barnyard or Skyrim or Breath of the Wild, it's such a fun surprise. I don't know why it's so good, but if there's a base in any game, let me just choose between 5 couches that progress progressively get better. My brain just likes going, ooh, I can get the better couch now.
I think it's also something about the world directly reacting to your actions that's just so rewarding.
It's like I'm making my own little apartment in my fake little world.
And no one can hurt me. But there are also personal items you can buy from the Gophers too. Most importantly, you can buy a bike, which is huge because you're almost always exploring the surrounding areas on your bike. Earlier in the game, a lot of paths and locations are locked by gates, and you'll only have 1 or 2 locations to go to. But as you progress the story and help other animals, Ben will give you more keys to unlock paths that are either shortcuts or whole new areas.
This leads to more mini games you can ride to freely and replay after you play them for the first time. It's also surprising just how big the open world is, including a junkyard, a golf course, other farms, a pond, hay fields. Sometimes you'll be meeting Otis at the golf course to play a couple of rounds. Sometimes Miles the donkey will need you to collect random shit around the map so you can pelt children with tomatoes.
Some mini games in the Gopher shop are only open at night, but other than that, there's no real difference to the game after the sun goes down. It's just dark.
Except for the fact that most of the characters then are in the barn and you can see them partying.
That's true.
As well. The best part about exploring the open world has to be the bike. It's surprisingly well designed and it's actually really fun to ride. There's nothing like tearing up the hills in this game with the sickest BMX cow tricks you've ever seen. Even though no one appreciates your sick tricks when you're trying to cheer them up after Ben's death. Otis, I know your dad died, but check out this no-footer!
Hey, Otis, look at me!
Otis, look, you're not looking.
Otis, watch this wheelie.
Otis, you're not looking. You're staring down at the ground in a really almost comically sad pose.
And since we're on the topic, Ben's death is such a heavy moment in such a silly and stupid game.
You go from squirting milk on raccoons to collecting flowers to place on Ben's grave 10 minutes later.
But if that ain't an analogy for life, I don't know what is. Life's a bitch, ain't it, Eddie?
I guess. It's just so weird to go from squirting milk to these very heavy topics. But speaking of milk, you may have heard us reference squirts, creamin', and milking during this video.
That's because it heavily features the use of milk as a core gameplay mechanic. You've heard of Strand games.
Now get ready for milky games. Early on in your squirt journey, Otis hands you a pair of sunglasses. And when you apply these sunglasses to your cow, they become the best milk sniper the world has ever seen. Why are the sunglasses needed? Because you couldn't possibly look someone in the eyes as you do this to them.
Is it weird that I'm thirsty now?
Yes, dude.
The developers absolutely knew what they were doing here. The game even features lines like, "Some guys are gonna get milked today," or "How far can you squirt?" You cannot find a milkier game than this, and I dare you to try.
Barnyard did not receive any awards as a game, so it is now receiving, and hold your applause, the very first Burback Brothers Milkiest Game of 2006 award! Yes! Okay, guys, settle down.
All right, we gotta move on. Come on, relax.
We gotta keep going. It's getting a little loud.
Jesus, all right, relax.
So congratulations if you worked on this game, but do not contact us. We do not want to pay the shipping to send you this award.
But the playthrough for us was going really well, to be honest. As we got into the meat of the game, it was exactly what we loved about it as kids.
The day-night system, the minigame fun, and especially upgrading the barnyard were pretty much exactly what we remembered.
Waking up every day, doing our activities, and then partying at night was such a satisfying gameplay loop as you upgrade everything.
But as we continued to play, we just started to think, Jesus Christ, is this game still going? You wake up. Oh, Peck wants to do a flying minigame. Didn't we do that a week ago in the game calendar?
You go to sleep. You wake up. Oh, Miles needs me to get those raccoons out of the vegetable patch for the 3rd time.
You wake up. You go to sleep. You wake up. Oh, the Jersey boys want to take the car out for a race. Again. Okay. I think the developers made enough minigames, story missions, and upgradable barnyard stuff to fill out an entire game. But we're clearly worried that it would be too short and started to make you repeat the same games at slightly harder difficulties to add to the runtime.
But as a kid's game, it was fine being shorter because of how enjoyable it was. Plus, the runtime of this game is entirely up to you. You can spend the whole day and night without playing a main mission. If you want to spend a week just collecting materials and playing minigames, you can do that. But if you really take your time to feel like you're at the Barnyard, the game drags a lot.
But even though the game is a bit of a grind toward the end, it doesn't change how we feel about what the game is overall. Barnyard is not a masterpiece by any means, but it was way better than you would expect out of a video game for Barnyard the movie, especially because it was a new franchise made by Nickelodeon, so there wasn't a ton of money or material to work with when they made this.
The developers clearly took the concept of the movie and the little they were given and turned it into potentially a better product than the movie it's based off of.
And we would love a remake for Barnyard, but that is not fucking happening. This franchise is more dead than Ben buried under us doing BMX tricks on his grave.
All in all, Barnyard fails on all fronts to even acknowledge the decline of family-owned farms in the face of an increasingly corporate-dominated industry. Nor does it acknowledge the massive methane emissions that are produced by the large cattle population every year. There is a lot of dialogue in Barnyard 2016, yet it doesn't seem to be saying anything at all.
Tony, did you expect that out of this game?
No, but I'm still disappointed.
Why?
You can be disappointed even if you didn't expect it.
You gotta stop going off script for us, dude. I don't know what you trying to get political at the end. What the hell is this?
What else would we talk about it? There's no substance in the videos released. We need
our
more
videos
substance.
have enough substance. We're talking about video games. We're not going to talk about political shit here. This is art. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I'm currently on a road trip, so I'm going to record this at my car, and we're not going to talk about it. Thank you. Today's video is sponsored by Brilliant. Thank you, Brilliant. Brilliant is the best way to learn interactively. One of the best things about Brilliant is its versatility. You can learn at your own pace. When it came to STEM topics, I was not super good in the classroom for it, so I actually do wish I had something like Brilliant where I could teach myself at my own pace at home comfortably, not sitting in a classroom wishing that I could leave more than anything in my entire life. So you can learn something new and on your own. So just go to brilliant.org/Burback. That is brilliant.org/Burback twice in case you don't like to listen. Or click the link in the description and the first 200 of you will get 20% off on Brilliant's annual subscription. Thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring Tony and I. It really helps. It is 100 degrees in this car, so I'm gonna end it there. Goodbye, and thank you, Brilliant.